Caste-based discrimination, for which our constitutional framers fought so long and made sure it is eradicated from India, is unfortunately still seen in some regions today. This is very visible as we glance through this article which was published in the Hindu newspaper on July 18, 2025. The article says that temple entry cannot be denied based on caste in a country governed by rule of law, and this verdict was given by Madras High Court. So let's dig into this article. So Madras High Court just reminded us loud and very clear that temple entry is not a privilege, it's a right. It took a strong stand against caste-based discrimination at the Puthukudi Ayanar temple in Ariyalur district of Tamil Nadu. Now what happened that some scheduled caste residents were not allowed to enter the temple, especially during the ongoing annual festival. A local man, A. Venkatesan, filed a case saying that this was blatant discrimination. So Justice A. Anand Venkatesh said that no one can be stopped from entering a temple based on caste. This goes against the rule of law and constitutional values. If someone does stop people, they can be sued or even prosecuted. Now what were the key directions given by the court? The Ariyalur SP and Revenue Divisional Officer, they need to ensure that there is free access for all castes. They need to take strict legal action if anyone obstructs temple entry, and law and order must be maintained during temple events. The legal and historical context is that the court referred to the Tamil Nadu Temple Entry Authorization Act 1947. This was enacted after long struggles by leaders like Periyar and others to allow Dalits and non-Brahmins to access temples across Tamil Nadu. Now, there are two more important judicial interpretations here to understand caste-based discrimination. That is the Indra Swani case of 1992, where caste was upheld as a criterion for identifying backwardness, but it excluded creamy layer in the OBCs. Another case is State of Karnataka versus Appa Balu Ingle of 1993, where Supreme Court condemned continued practice of untouchability. Now, looking at the exam relevance of this very article, then there are different subjects like polity, governance, Indian society, and ethics, where topics like justice, equality, dignity are seen. And in this very article, it's a very important reminder for us that constitutional morality is way above the social customs. Now, let's discuss the legal provisions against caste discrimination. The first one is Protection of Civil Rights Act 1955. It was enacted to give effect to Article 17, that is abolition of untouchability. Then it penalizes denial of access to public places, services, discrimination based on untouchability. Another is Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989. It prevents atrocities and hate crimes against SCs and STs. It provides for special courts, stringent punishment and victim compensation. Then we have the Indian Penal Code 1860, whose section 153A talks about punishment for promoting enmity between different groups on grounds of caste, etc. We have section 295A that talks about punishment for deliberate acts intended to outrage religious feelings, which can include caste-based humiliation. We have the Representation of Peoples Act 1951, whose section 123(3) says that use of caste for electoral gains is a corrupt electoral practice. We have Right to Education Act 2009, which prohibits discrimination of SC or ST children in school, including in the midday meals or seating arrangements, etc. Then we have various employment and reservation laws like Article 335, which says that claims of SCs and STs in public employment and appointments to be taken into account. Various state acts and rules that enable caste-based reservations in job, education and political representation. Example, we have Panchayat Raj seats which are reserved for SCs and STs. So after discussing all these legal provisions, this particular very article or this particular case is a reminder that law must uphold the dignity of the most marginalized. Now further digging into the constitutional provisions against caste discriminations, we have Article 14, that is equality before law, which ensures equal treatment of all persons before the law. It prohibits discrimination on ground including caste. Article 15, that is prohibition of discrimination, whose clause 1 states that the state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. Clause 2 says that no citizen shall face restrictions on access to public places or use of wells, tanks, shops, etc. on these grounds. Clause 4 enables state to make special provisions for advancement of socially and educationally backward classes, including SCs and STs. We have Article 16, that is equality of opportunity in public employment, whose clause 1 talks about equality of opportunity in matters of public employment, and clause 4 allows reservation in public employment for backward classes inadequately represented in state services. Then we have Article 17 that talks of abolition of untouchability, which declares untouchability should be abolished and it forbids its practice in any form. A very severe offense which is punishable by law. Then we have Article 46, which is a DPSP, that is Directive Principle. It enjoins the state to promote educational and economic interests of SCs, STs and other weaker sections and protect them from social injustice and all forms of exploitation. And finally, we have Article 338, which gives constitutional status to the National Commission of Scheduled Caste that monitors, safeguards, investigates complaints and advises on policy matters for scheduled caste welfare. Now, a major key takeaway from all this discussion is that temple must open their doors to all because God does not discriminate and neither should society. Now, to end this very discussion, why this particular article, why it matters today, because even after 75 plus years of independence, untouchability is still practiced, if not socially but spiritually. In this particular verdict, it reinforces that faith must not be filtered by caste. सो आई होप फ्रेंड्स आपको ये डिस्कशन अच्छा लगा होगा और आपकी एग्जाम प्रिपरेशन में ये हेल्पफुल रहा होगा. थैंक यू फॉर लिसनिंग टू अस.